Hello and welcome, you join me, ADG, and here we are for race 14 of the Mature Racing Club Gran Turismo Touring Car Championship Fusion Lobby. This is the final race of the championship, so it is the decider for the championship winner. We will discuss that afterwards, but meanwhile we have a half-an-hour race to watch. Kyoto Driving Park is the venue, and it's Yamagiwa Mayabe 2, so it's in reverse. So the grid is in reverse as well, and we'll quickly go through the grid order. We have Ginger Crackhead in first place. We have Street Boy in second. Ginger Crackhead in the Renault Megane Trophy. Street Boy in second in the Nissan GTR. JRC in third in the Trophy. We've got Rick in fourth in the Subaru. Robert the Hood is in fifth in the Megane Trophy. CJW is in the Trophy in 6th, White Shark Phil is in 7th in the Honda NSX, ADG is in 8th in the Honda NSX, White Shark Jim is in 9th in the Ford Mustang, and finally Muzz is in 10th place in the Renault Megane Trophy 2. So we will jump up on board with Ginger Crackhead as we normally do, jump on board with the pole sitter and look back and see how this one goes. So Ginger Crackhead, not a bad start for Street Boy either. JRC getting away well. Let's see how it goes into T1. JRC just going around the outside of Street Boy, so up into second position, good move. JRC on the outside for the next one as well. Side by side with Ginger Crackhead, goes around the outside Ginger Crackhead as well, so gets himself up into first, does JRC with a really good run. Ginger Crackhead losing a little bit of momentum out of there, allows Rick just to pull into second down the inside, Street Boy in third. Robert the Hood comes through as well. We'll quickly go back and watch this again as well, the beginning of this lap from a little bit further back, because there was a lot of action and I can't quite catch it all at once. So we'll just get through these next couple of corners and then we'll go back a little bit. CJW in 5th, making his way through nicely. So Robert the Hood with a really good start, got himself up into third. Street Boy losing out a little bit, now in 4th. But like I say, we'll go back and have another look at that. So going back a little bit further, we'll start again, but with Jim towards the back. There's loads of action at the beginning, first couple of corners in this. So straight away, Jim gets a really good launch off the line, gets himself up into 7th. Leaves the two NSXs and Muzz to battle it out for last position pretty much. Robert the Hood and Muzz come side by side and end up with a little bit of contact. Muzz loses out, ends up dropping back. Oh, excuse me. We've got Phil in 10th position. Just manages to get in front of Muzz. It's all going on. And there's a massive field here. If you go on board with me, look how many cars in front, nearly 4 wide at one point more or less. Robert just dives down the inside on CJW, manages to get past about 3 cars there, and that's how he gets up into 3rd place. So, opportunistic move, but it works out for him, Robert Hood. CJW and Ginger Crackhead side by side as they go down into this really tricky heavy braking zone. Trying to hook up the second apex, I go into the back of Ginger Crackhead as he's got a weird lie going on and didn't quite get my braking right. So there's all sorts to look at through that first lap. Really good, entertaining first lap. We've still got Ginger Crackhead and myself side by side through this sweeping right-hander. It's a long lap is this one as well. So watch that beginning a little bit again. That was good. CJW side by side with Street Boy. Me right on CJW's tail as well. Got the braking run again a little bit. CJW caught me out, so I went into the back of CJW. Ginger Crackhead went into the back of me because of it as well. Skip up the camera angle and try and settle into this one now. So Ginger Crackhead started in 1st place, but he's really struggled on this opening lap and he keeps dropping back, unfortunately. He's a good racer, he's Ginger Crackhead, but just didn't have the confidence by looking at it in this one, and that's Muzz getting through as well on him and White Shark Jim. Meanwhile, at the top we have JRC leading the race here. As we saw, he went round the outside on a good couple of moves to gain first place early on. Rick GTR in second. We've got Robbie Hood in third now. Seen a couple of opportunistic moves from Robbie, but they paid off nicely for him. And good work, he's managed to launch himself up the field. Street Boy in fourth, having a good race as well so far. Side by side is ADG and CJW. ADG just getting through up into fifth position. Just getting past CJW into that one. White Shark Jim in 7th, Moz in 8th now, Ginger Cracker in 9th and Phil in 10th. CJW has got hassle from Jim as well now. So Jim with a really neat apex there, kept it nice and tidy to the inside. Didn't quite work for him on the exit though because of that. And see, oh, a bit of contact though, just as they try and get on the brakes into there. Really tricky part of the track. As you get through the slow corner as well, there's a little bit of a camber drop off as well, so and a bit of a tiny crest where your front end goes light slightly, so tricky old corner is that one. So Jim getting it done in the end, gets past CJW. Good battling to make it work. Moz looks like he's keen to get through as well. Good action going on throughout the field here. ADG finds himself on his own pretty much at the moment. Street Boy 4th, looked like he went into the back of Robert's Hood there by accident, obviously. Not intentional if we do see any contact between these guys. That allows me to get right on the back of Street Boy now. So Jim's right on my bumper as well. Moz has got through on CJW. It's all pretty close though, apart from Phil. He's had a big incident by the look of it, and he's dropped right to the back in 10th place now in the Honda NSX. So good racing going on all over the place. Let's go on board with Moz. Watching Jim in front. Just in front of these guys as well, we've got Robert's Hood and Street Boy battling away for third position. All pretty close from 3rd to 7th. Moz just getting a really nice opportunity there to just get past Jim, as Jim just had a little moment to gather up. Opened the line up and Moz took it, no problems. Wasn't going to wait to be invited twice side by side with me as we're heading to the braking zone for T1. And Moz just gets me on the brakes, pulls it into 5th. Good job there from Moz, good racing. Now right on the back of Street Boy as well. Tricky couple of corners these, go a little bit wide, which I did at some point, and made a big mistake through there. It's it's a costly one. Looks like a fast chicane, that first chicane, but it's not really, quite slow. And Moz doing a great job on this this section of the race. To the end of the last lap and the beginning of lap 3. Just got past Street Boy, dispatched. And now looking right at the back of Roberts' bumper, the back of Roberts' car, and the Renault Megane trophy. Street Boy's coming back at him though. Oh, Street Boy looked like he just unsettled himself a little bit heading into there, so he dropped off the back of Moz, even though he was touching his bumper heading into that corner. Looked like he just had a bit of a moment to gather up that lost him a tiny bit of speed. Let's go back up to the lead. So Rick's actually taking the lead now. We've missed it, but Rick's got past JRC. Now in first place, and he's got a little bit of a gap as well from JRC in second. Moz in third. Robert's Hood in fourth. So Moz has got past Robert's Hood quite quickly as well. Moz is on a real charge in the opening couple of laps of this one. Quite a lot of people in the Megane Trophy, but Moz just driving the hell out of it compared to the others. Now this one's settled down a little bit, get my words out eventually. Street Boy finds himself in 5th, but he has got Jim right on his bumper. He went quite slowly through that section, quite a fast section if you get it right, but that's allowed Jim to close right up and go down the inside. Just takes 5th place off Street Boy, heading onto the straight. Street Boy and Jim even sat in the slipstream of Roberts the Hood as well, heading into T1. Again, quite a tricky corner. It's not the easiest of tracks, this, I find. Tightens up and tightens up, so it's really easy to try and get your foot down a bit too early, but end up with a bit of understeer and ended up with a bit of an issue there if you're not careful. I really can't get it together in this one, so you will just have to deal with all my mistakes, so I do apologise. Roberts the Hood battling hard, trying not to lose his 4th position, but it looks like Jim's got the line down into here. Roberts thinks better of it, pulls him behind, makes sure he gets the braking done instead of challenging for the overtake. Jim up into 4th. Coming through the field well is Jim. Finished race 13 in 2nd position, so doing a really good job in this one to come through. Obviously I say that because that means that he started 2nd to last. He started in 9th position, but doing a great job to come through into 4th on lap 4. Nearly 9 minutes into this race now. Oh, a little moment from JRC. We've got Moses who now got past JRC as well, so JRC now down into 3rd. So Moz is on the charge. Will it be long until he gets the lead, or does he get the lead? I'm not sure. I'm just completely focusing on my own busy race in this one. I didn't really pay much attention to what else was going on towards the top. Say purple sectors there. So Moz is catching Rick by the look of it. It's a really good section to go through when you get the line right, is that little bit. Really rewarding and really quite fast. Going through the last corner now, onto the start-finish line. Start-finish straight, sorry. We start lap 5. So Rick's got his work cut out now with Moz right on his tail. Moz is relentless as well. He doesn't just sit back and happily follow you around. He puts a hell of a lot of pressure on as often as he can. Looking for the inside line. Has he got the braking right? Yep, stuck into the apex. Rick gives him a little bit of room by the look of it. Good driving between the two. Rick still comes out ahead though. Oh, just a little bit of argy-bargy, but they managed to get away with it between them. Doesn't make much difference to JRC following in 3rd. That's the main thing. They don't want to slow each other down too much and cost them both a position to JRC. And good stuff in this race up front, battling hard for it. Jim on his own now a little bit, got a bit of a gap to close into JRC. Roberts the Hood, same for him. Oh, this is a moment where he just lost concentration a little bit, I think. Just drove off the track and had a big moment, ended up going backwards. So a fair few cars managed to come through. Rick just collects him there. I watched the replay back the other day and just to get some idea of what happened there, and with other incidents as well, not just that one. But it didn't actually affect Rick, although Roberts the Hood got hit again there as a young ghosted, but it didn't actually do anything to Rick whatsoever on his screen, so Rick got away with that, but it affected Roberts the Hood twice with his own mistake and then getting hit. But there you go, that's the way it goes. Loss of concentration by the look of it there for Robert. I don't know if that was for sure what happened, but looks like it. Ended up on the grass in a big moment. Later he finds himself in 10th. White Shark Phil in 9th now, gets a little promotion from the back. ADG in 8th, following Ginger Crackhead in 7th, quite closely. Got CJW in 6th. Oh, I thought I was going for a move there. Street Boy in 5th. White Shark Jim in 4th. JRC is now on the back of Rick, which has now been demoted down into 2nd place after that battle we saw between Moz catching up to Rick incredibly quickly and trying to get past on a few occasions, but not quite managing to get it done. He's got it done in the end. Gets himself up into 1st place plus Moz, and now has a chance to build a gap and try and secure the win. Rick and JRC left to battle for the podium positions. And White Shark Jim, goes really deep into there, gets his braking wrong completely, ends up off track on the grass. Luckily, he's got enough of a gap to Street Boy behind him, so he doesn't lose the position of 4th. But it's not going to be the ideal lap for him there. Looks like his tyres are giving him some grief. They've gone quite a bit at the front. Front left is definitely giving him a little bit of grief now. Same for Street Boy though, he's got the same tyre wear. Everyone looking similar, to be honest. In different cars as well. CJW similar as well on the front left. ADG the same, similar. The rear tyres of the NSX are a bit more worn than the other cars there. Ginger Crackheads in 8th now, so ADG managed to get past into 7th in the end. So Street Boy and Jim are incredibly close now. Jim's had that little bit of an incident, outbroke himself, got on the grass, scabbed it up, but lost quite a lot of time. Just keep skipping through because the action seems to the positions seem to skip up quite quickly in this one. And I keep missing the overtake, so I want to keep an eye on the action and see what's going on. Bit of a gap developed between the top 3 now. So it's quite a complicated track and a 2-minute 30 lap time or thereabouts. We haven't seen that many mistakes, so it's good driving from most. The pit stop window well and truly open at the 15-minute marker now, so halfway through the race. Pretty much signals everyone dives into the pits. Not everyone, of course, there is different strategies that develop, like Rick and Moz have carried on. Sorry, no, Rick hasn't, but Moz has. Rick's gone for fresh tyres, Moz has gone for another lap. JRC on fresh tyres, Jim on fresh tyres, Street Boy the same, CJW, ADG, Ginger Crackhead all on fresh tyres. Ginger Crackhead having a big spin, let's see what happened there. They're just coming through to start the first lap really. Comes through the fast chicane, well it isn't that fast, caught too much curb and just lit up the rears, spun the rear end down. Oh, big incident there for Ginger Crackhead, gets going again though, no big dramas with anyone else involved. White Shark Phil getting promoted up another position there, so Robert the Hood and Ginger Crackhead have both had incidents where White Shark Phil just managed to drive through in the end. ADG attempting to go down the inside of CJW by the look of it, but not getting the run out of the corner. We'll stick with this for a second, it looks pretty close. Looked pretty close for a second anyway, but gap's developed again now. CJW doing a good job of just gaining that gap straight away. So, not a great deal of close racing going on, but we'll now get into the stage of watching to see who's catching who up and keep an eye on that. Obviously there's still 13 minutes to go, so plenty of time for incidents to happen and overtakes to develop. As soon as the gap seems to have grown everywhere, we will jump on board with who's that just coming over the line behind. In second place, Rick, just starting lap 8, so go on board with Rick and spend at least a minute or two with him. Talk through the difficulties of this track. So this is the slow chicane that actually looks like you can carry loads of speed, but you take too much of that curve like we saw Ginger Crackhead do a lap ago, and it can easily catch you out, unsettle the car, and off you go. Quite a tricky braking zone as you go downhill into quite a cambered corner actually, but if you outbrake yourself you miss the camber, so it loses your time in both ways. And then you're looking just to get the braking right and keep it nice and neat and tidy through this little area. It's the braking, if you're not careful you're not necessarily braking in a straight line into there, so you want to make sure that you're doing that. And this is pretty much flat out with a little bit of a lift when you pick up a tiny bit of understeer through here. So see the lift there, dropping the revs, dropping a gear, ready to get back on the power, 4th gear, and then you can carry loads of speed through these corners, taking as much curb as possible. Good lap this so far from Rick. Heavy braking into here, outbroke himself a little bit there, goes for the later apex instead. Missed the curb though. Shoots past the apex a little bit there as well, but tightens it up on the exit for a good exit. Yeah, some tricky characteristics to some of these corners. And then now a similar corner to what we saw before, but slightly tighter, not quite as long. You just have to brake at the initial part of that corner and then you can get back on the power all the way through for this long run down this hill now, as you pick up speed incredibly quickly dropping down the hill, carrying as much speed as possible, running the curbs, not being as aggressive as we possibly should have been there, Rick, but still getting through cleanly. And then finally the last corner, another long sweeping right-hander, which explains obviously why everyone's front left tyres are absolutely decimated in this one, because there's 3 long sweeping right-hand corners that load up the tyre for an incredibly long time. So after a lap there with Rick, we will go back through, see what else is going on. Gaps looking similar to what we saw before. We've got ADG going down the inside on CJW on lap 9 now. Gets the job done as well. CJW got the run on the exit though. Just about pulling ahead in the NSX ADG to secure 6th place over CJW there. Good little battle that's been going on for a few laps by the look of it. Being Monday, I've actually kind of forgotten exactly what happened. Being this race was on Friday night, so I've done quite a few races and played a lot of Call of Duty since then. Now CJW not letting me go, keeping me honest. Keep an eye on this, there's not a lot else going on. Looking further back. Good little tussle here between me and CJW. It's good fun. Whoa, there we go. Absolutely fire myself up. I'll actually go back and watch that, even though it's my own mistake, because I don't really care. I just take too much curb through here, I think. No, yeah, that's it. Too much curb on the exit. I still have the power down. I remember saying hello in the chat to CJW again, just looking at him as I'm spinning into the barriers there. Get it going again, but big drama there from a tiny little mistake. I only just touched like the outside of the curb, but it was enough to get the rear end loose. And there we go, results in me dropping down 2 positions. Street Boy having quite a good race, consistent race in this one, but not quite gaining the positions, just seems to be sticking with the guy in front, whoever's in front of him really. Doing a good job in 5th. Let's go a little bit further up. JRC, still a big gap between those guys, so nothing dramatic going on at the moment. Now me and CJW have ended our battle. There's a big gap between CJW and White Shark Phil as well. And then a big gap between Phil and myself, Ginger Crackhead and Robert Hood. So it's all died down for pretty much everyone now. Everyone's done the pit stop if they're going to do one. So this is what we've got till the end really. 7 minutes to go. We'll try and keep an eye on what goes on action wise and see if there's any mistakes and any position changes towards the end, and we'll skip back and watch it if we do notice anything, but until then we'll stick with Street Boy by the look of it and watch him try to catch White Shark Jim in front. Jim has JRC in the distance on the straights. He can see him, so he's not that far away, but obviously there's not long left of the race. There's only 6 minutes left, or coming up to 6 minutes. So difficult to claw that kind of a gap back to the guy in front. But at the same time, it's worth trying. JRC with 2 really good overtakes at the start, which we've already mentioned, but going around the outside of 2 guys, risky business, but it paid off for him both times, and worked out nicely, took the lead early on. Since then he's dropped into 3rd, but he's made 1st place his own. He's secured it quite well and not had much of an issue in 3rd since then. So there were a couple of guys, we're getting towards the end now, so I'll start mentioning the championship a little bit. There were a couple of guys who could win in the last 2 races, and one in particular was quite nervous, but I think Joe Chu was one of them, but he didn't actually turn up, so don't think he had much chance of it in the end. Moz was another. Moz could have won the championship, and White Shark Jim could have won as well. So White Shark Jim had a really good result in race 13, which was Blue Moon, and he managed to more or less secure it. Just needs a good result and a good finish in this one. Currently in 4th position, but at the moment that's enough to secure the championship for him. So White Shark Jim, championship wise, has got it in the bag here if he finishes where he is. Just to give a little perspective to the end of the race, the Street Boy chases his times to try and close in the gap. So as it stands, White Shark Jim will be crowned the Fusion Champion for Season 12. Giving a little bit of credit to Moz, we haven't watched much of him since he made his way through the field into 1st place. Really good watching him and his overtakes coming through the field. Did a good job. Didn't catch every single overtake, but did a really good job of getting from the back to the front in the Renault Megane Trophy. again, for lack of action, I'll just keep skipping through and give everyone a little bit of coverage towards the end, and the end of the championship as well. You never know, we might not ever race together again. Robertson giving up on this one really, and he's ghosting. He's actually getting blue flags as well as the guys are coming around to lap him. Not actually competing, he's just on auto drive. Oh, what's that? Oh, CJW has just binned it into the barriers. So position change, big incident all of a sudden. Let's go on board with him. Oh, similar to what I did, not on the same corner, but very similar to what I did. Just caught a little bit too much curb, still had the power down, thought he could get away with it, probably has got away with it in previous laps, similar to me. And then this time round, for some reason, it just seemed to bite him. Maybe just loaded up the tyres a little bit too much for the tyre wear that he's got, and just saw the rear end spin. That allows White Shark Phil to gain out of that one and come through to take 6th position. And CJW actually with a little bit of damage, it's gone now, but a little bit of damage to get rid of. Front aero damage he picked up off that one. Brings it back to ADG, but there's not enough time left in the race really to make up the gap. So, got Moz catching the ghosted car of Robert the Hood. CJW got going again, we'll check back in on him in a second. Sorry for all the skipping through this time, but like I say, when the gaps are big, I'm just trying to keep an eye on what's going on really. Yeah, he's got going again nicely, no big dramas since his little incident there. Ginger Crackhead just dropped towards the back at the beginning of this race and never quite seemed to get it going again and get himself back into it, but all in all he seemed to enjoy the season and had some really good racing along the way. Not every race can be a good one. It was a bit boring for me this one at this point. I had a really good start to this one, really good action going on, but now I find myself in 8th position driving around on my own. Anyway, some guys are coming over the line to finish, so Street Boy's actually finished in 5th. He's finished now. White Shark Phil's brought it home in 6th. CJW crosses the line in 7th in the end. 8th is Aiden G. Ginger Crackhead's going to bring it home in 9th. Robert Hood's already finished in 10th. Ginger Crackhead just coming through the last corner. A little bit of understeer. You hear the tyres screeching. Brings home in 9th. Everyone getting a top 10 finish this week. So we have 4 guys still going on another lap, and we have White Shark Jim, JRC Racing, Rick 33 GTR and Moz. Moz leading at the moment, obviously. Really healthy gap as well. If you look on the mini map, big gap to the guys behind. The closest action we've got at the moment is between White Shark Jim and JRC, but at the moment it's a big enough gap for JRC. So long as he has no big incidents or big mistakes, should be able to keep these 3rd position. Jim no doubt pushing hard on this last lap though to try and make it work if he can do. It's a lot to ask when you've got bad tyre weather. Let's go on board with Moz as he comes through the fast chicane section after this corner. Really good set of corners this, I really enjoy this section of track. Pretty much flat out through here as well if you get it right. It's a little lift there. Just gets it turned into that second part. That second corner is the hardest bit of it all. As long as you get that right, you're okay through the rest of it. So Moz coming through the last corner now, taking it steady towards the end. Rick's not actually that far behind him. Yep, Moz brings it home for 2 wins in the final round in race 13 and 14, and has a really good finish to this championship. Rick 33 GTR finishes in 2nd, JRC in 3rd, and White Shark Phil in 4th. White Shark Jim in 4th. Like I said earlier as well, that means that White Shark Jim has actually won the championship. So congratulations to Jim, which is actually called Chris Bullock. So congratulations to him. And yeah, that's it. That's the end of the championship. Thank you very much for joining me. Hit that like button. I cannot speak at all during this one. I do apologise. Oh my God, I can't even say the word, but apologise. I do apologise for all my mistakes. It's just part of my charm, I hope. But I'm never going to be a pro at any of this because I'm just terrible at it at the end of the day. Right, this is a really bad outro. So anyway, I'm going to leave it there. Thank you very much for watching. Really do appreciate it. Hit that like button, subscribe if you haven't already, and I will see you again in the near future, no doubt. Take care. Bye for now. Cheers for watching.